So in this video, I wanted to talk about the racism theory, and again, and I know that I've discussed this theory in the past, but new information has come to my attention, and it's going to make me revisit this theory. So for just a couple seconds, we're going to just have to forget about Stephen Maddow, and I'm going to address Stephen Maddow after I talk about what I want to talk about. So I know a lot of people are suggesting that gang stalking doesn't have to do with race. I've had one or two of you actually tell me that it has nothing to do with race and all this stuff. Okay, let me educate you guys on the facts. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys are aware of the SOLs. So in my state, we have something called the SOLs. They're standards of learning tests. Okay, they measure how well you're doing academically in on certain subjects. So okay, so so first off, let me tell you that the scores in minority communities were so low that they actually they're calling an emergency session in order to address this. So for this SOL test in colored areas, only in colored areas, the test scores are lower than they've ever been. They said the math SOLs had a 0% pass rate. They're like, nobody passed. So they said that the pass rate is 0% for math. You guys understand what I'm saying here? 0%. Nobody passed. Nobody. So it kind of aggravates me when people suggest that in an area in which no colored person passed the SOLs, not even one, that gang stalking in this same area has nothing to do with race. Okay, so if you're gonna come on my channel and say that, I'll listen to you. But let me go back to the point I'm making. Nobody, not one single student, passed the math SOLs. Not one. And that's only in colored areas, like in the city where I live, where it's like 92 or 93% colored. Not one single person passed. One, not even one. And you guys, and I see these rednecks, these racist rednecks riding around with the Confederate flags. I mean, you have nothing but a bunch of sellouts. You know, these people, the colors look like complete sellouts. So when this stuff happens, and then nobody cares about the fact that I post videos, when this stuff happens, and then I hear all you people basically suggesting that this has nothing to do with race and that it's just some crazed conspiracy or whatever the hell. And I hear that, and then I hear these scores, okay, and I hear that only 17% passed the SOLs overall, okay, and not one single person passed the math SOLs. 17%. That's an 82%. An 83% failure rate. Well, actually, I think it's, well, did I get that right? Actually, I might need to take that. So. Okay, it's 80, or something like that. Well, it's close enough. Anyhow, so look at look how huge of a failure rate that is. This is only in the predominantly colored areas. Like I live like right outside the city, and it's not like that outside the city. So 17% of the people, only 17% passed the SOLs overall, and 0% passed the math SOLs. And you're going to sit back and tell me that these people aren't sellouts? And the gang stalking has nothing to do with race? These people are complete sellouts. That's why, and I know I talked about this before, these people are sellouts to the white supremacists, and they're getting special treatment and special perks. And they live out here. The ones who live in these areas are most likely sellouts who the white supremacists are using in order to get, problem minorities or colored people. The point is that it really does reaffirm the belief that gang stalking is racial. So the point being is that with this information, if you combine this information with the gang stalking, there's no motive for gang stalking other than racism. I was talking about that, and it was like, okay, I want to give Stephen Madow the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, like, maybe it's this operation is something that any institution or any group can just hire or get. I mean, we don't know enough about the operation or how they choose people or what the operation is about in order to reach any conclusions. What I'm telling you guys is that every single person in predominantly colored area just failed the SOLs. I don't know how that's even possible. I mean, I have never heard of something like that. They saying they're going to call an emergency meeting and the mayor has to get involved. They are saying it's like a crisis emergency situation. It's never happened before. It's literally, okay, so when I see these rednecks and stuff ride around in their pickup trucks with their big Confederate flags and call us N-words and all this stuff, and these people are involved in this gang stalking operation, you would understand why I think that I've been singled out because I'm considered a problem minority, problem colored person. That's why the gang stalkers are doing this. I think a lot of people are closeted racist. I think that people, like, especially a lot of racist white people come onto my channel. A lot of racist white people are out here and they don't want to admit they're racist. Let me tell you something. I've seen the Grand Wizard of the KKK get interviewed, and he suggested he's not racist, okay? No white person has ever admitted to being racist in the history of racism, okay? These people are complete fucking sellouts, probably because they're psychopaths. And that's the whole point. Yeah, you have lots of minorities who are involved, and these minorities will most likely be psychopaths. And of course, a racist white person can easily pay them to do what they do. The test scores, on the other hand, will kind of give us an indicator, okay? That's why, when people come onto my channel from outside and they sort of make these little comments and stuff and suggesting I'm going to take their word for it, I don't really understand why they think that. I'm looking at the facts. Now, the facts is that no, not one single student passed the math SOLs. Not one single person. And that is only in predominantly colored areas like the city. That's basically almost entirely colored, okay? Where very few white people live in the city, in the inner city here. Very few white people. It'd be like, I think it's probably like over 90% colored or something. It could be even more than that. Like, you don't even see white people in the city part of this area. You don't see not no white people. So in areas in which there are predominantly colored people, there is only 17% of them passed. Okay? So that's like, I mean, that's unheard of. That failure rate is unheard of. It is literally, it's almost impossible. The only way that can happen is if they wanted them to fail. I mean, you don't get that kind of failure unless the teachers want you to fail. At that point, I'm thinking the teachers aren't even teaching them. Like, I mean, they come in and the teachers are like, well, we don't want these guys to be successful. And if you get past the fact that the school system is intentionally setting you up to fail, and you don't sell out, that's when they gang stalk you. Like, the ones who are allowed to succeed are the ones who are basically sold out. And they, the ones in this area, these colors in this area, sellouts. Sellouts. Most likely, they're being paid to betray their own people. They're being paid by racist white people to betray their own people. The white people, the racist white people, come to them and basically say, we'll offer you a better life if you swear allegiance to white supremacy. You attack your own. And these people have no morals, no dignity, no conscience. They're complete werewolves. They don't give a damn about each other. And it would be easy to corrupt them and turn them against other colored people. It's all one big deception. So what happens is, if you, by some miracle, you get past the failure that you were set up for while you were in school. Like, while you're in school, they're doing everything possible to make it so you fail. If you get past that, then they have an army of gang stalkers who will just tear you down. And that's why even after I have basically collected all this evidence in racist America, nobody cares. The United States is so racist that it doesn't even matter that you collect evidence. That's why when black people get killed, unless they have an army of people willing to burn down a city, nobody is even going to care. That's the whole point. The justice system does not apply to colored people. And that's why the gang stalkers are not even worried about being recorded. Why would they worry about being recorded? The authority, the people of authority are the main ones killing colored people. So obviously they don't have to worry about authority. That's why gang stalkers can get away with everything. And then I'll have you guys, some of the racist people, I'll have you guys kind of just like say, Freemasons and stuff. Dude, Freemasons, man. What, you ever think about the Klan? You ever wonder about those guys? KKK, neo-Nazis, they're right in the government. They're right in the government. Even the president, I saw a clip of him calling people the N-word. I don't know about Freemasons, but I'll tell you this. The United States has 500 plus years of complete and total racism. 500 years of complete and total racism. And I don't understand why, with all the evidence suggesting that this is just them being themselves, really, you guys refuse to just say that this is a racist operation. Yeah, Stephen, we don't know Stephen's story. I mean, we don't know anything about Stephen. We don't know whether he's being straight with us or not. We don't know anything. If they don't want to admit that they're racist and they want to make it look like they're not, they can make it look that way. What I'm saying is that within this area, not one single person passed the SOLs, and that only happened in predominantly colored areas. So when I was in school, I was set up to fail too. Like the teachers do not want you to succeed if you're colored. I mean, I have stories of racism you would not even believe in school. I'm just saying. So it kind of infuriates me when people are just like, oh, of course not racism. Like I'm supposed to listen. Lou, let me tell you something. The facts are the facts. These people, I dealt with a gang stalker at the mall, and he was basically like, in charge of the mall that I went to. I don't even think he was a gang stalker. The guy was absolutely resonating racist. He looked racist, he talked racist, he acted racist. He was so racist that I was actually just gonna ask him whether he was racist. I mean, he looked like he was the grand wizard of the KKK. I mean, he really did. I was just sitting there like, this must be the most racist guy I've ever seen in my life. All these rednecks, you see these rednecks out here, these good old boys, all these good old boys, they're the type of people you see in like movies like Mississippi Burning and stuff. These racist good old boys, working with the sellouts and stuff. Let me tell you something. You don't get a failure rate like that unless it's intentional. It's intentional. They are setting the colors up to fail. And it's not like that in their areas. And this area is not like that. That's because there's lots of white people out here. So their schools will teach you. You go into the goddamn colored people schools, not one single person passed. How in the living fuck could not one person pass? That has never happened ever in any place, in any fucking community in the United States. This is for the fucking history books. And if you still gonna tell me that these people are racist with that kind of fucking evidence suggesting they are, look at this guy. He looks like he's a goddamn white Nash. I should go kick his fucking ass. I will go over there and beat the shit out that fucking redneck. Okay, just on principle. It'd be like he's stupid bitch ass fucking redneck and stomp his little bitch ass. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm tired of these racist motherfuckers lying about their racism. We have colored people getting killed, persecuted, treated like crap every single day, and now everybody is suggesting that this isn't part of that. I was like, well, why the fuck isn't it part of that? All the evidence would seem to suggest that it is. Just because Steven made a video saying that, this happened to him, we're supposed to just disregard all the evidence. We don't know shit about what happened to him. And like I said, we don't know if one group is responsible for all the gang stalking or whether it's like a private corporation or entity that any group can hire in order to do it. We don't know shit about gang stalking. His situation could have been different, and maybe they gang stalked him for a different reason. Maybe it was a different group. I mean, who fucking knows? You do not get a failure rate that fucking high unless it's intentional, is the point. So that just really just fuels the theory that these people are racist. And I always said that